Hey there, this is Jenny from Southern Savers. One of the biggest questions that I get is how in the world do we save on produce? No, we don't see a lot of coupons on produce, and guess what? We don't really see that many great deals in the grocery store on produce. One of the biggest ways that I tell people to save is to get out of the grocery store and go to the farmer's market. We all have farmer's markets in our neighborhoods, in our towns. It's just figuring out how to shop them to really save the most money. So I want to introduce you to my expert, and that is someone who has created their own produce co-op and really figured out how to maximize savings in the farmer's market. And we're going to follow her. We're going to get some big tips on how to really reduce your produce budget. This is Leanne, and Leanne goes to my church, is how we kind of ran into each other. And now Leanne, you started a co-op here in the area that's really for friends that have all gotten together. And what made you start it first off?
First off, I wanted to get the most bang for my buck. And so my sister-in-law was heading one in the upstate. And so she kind of helped me start this one in my community because I couldn't really find one. The people in my co-op, in the community co-op, know to get their money into me by Friday. We shop on a Saturday. In the farmers market, they do not take checks or your Visa cards or anything, so I need cash. And so they usually just mail me a check, give me enough time to get to the bank to cash their checks.
Okay.
By that Friday.
So they just kind of know Leanne's the go-to, Leanne's going to gather the money, and then you actually do all the shopping too. So in terms of creating your own co-op, Leanne's doing a ton of the work where you wouldn't have to bear all of the burden if you didn't want to. Somebody else could do some of the shopping, somebody else could do some of the separating. But she's kind of wearing a lot of hats in this one, which we're very thankful for.
Yes.
So we've got all the money, and we're ready to shop. How do you even start?
Well, in my co-op, it takes a group of people working together to make a co-op run. I cannot do the co-op by myself. I have about 5 shoppers that love to shop like I love to shop. And so any given month, there's at least 2 of us available to do the shopping. And so we get together, and I'll usually just have the money and have the list of how many baskets we need and who's available. And then we get together on Saturday morning and we start shopping.
So we're heading into the farmer's market. There are tons of farmers to talk with. How do you decide who to shop with? Is it people you've worked with before? Are we looking for something? If I'm brand new, how do I decide where to go first?
My best advice to give you is just to get in there and do it, because you need to go and build a rapport with the wholesalers, and you need to know where they keep their discounted items, and just build a rapport with them, because they're really going to tell you how to navigate through their building and through the farmers market. We like to start on the local sheds, which are the very first sheds you go to in our farmers market. And we like to give as much business as we can to our local farmers. So we start there. And a lot of times when you're dealing with the local farmers, you can kind of, bargain the price down. As well, if you go to the wholesalers, that price is there and there's no negotiating because they don't have the authority to go down on the prices much. So we start with the local farmers and we go through there and we check the prices and we just jot stuff down, because what we're doing, we're taking a survey of the market, who has the best deals that morning.
So we made all lists. We know who has the best price.
Yes.
And now it's time to buy. Are there some tips on how to kind of stretch even at buying time?
Yes.
The dollar for
a lot of the our farmers market, the local sheds, if you do not make your purchases early there on a Saturday morning, the farmers on the back sheds will buy the local produce, mark them up, and then you have to pay more for your items that you're putting in your basket, because then after 7:30 they're gone. They've sold their truckload and they're gone, and you're having to find the same peaches in the same basket on the back half of the market. Once we've got that, all our price lists, we'll go through and we'll just put a star by things that were just really good, a good deal. After you've been through the market, $17 for a 40-pound box of bananas, that's the top price. So if you have a $10 box or $5 box, that's the kind of thing you want to jump on and go ahead and say, we need to get this today because that's a good deal.
And for you, total cost for a person is about $20.
$20.
To be part of it. And obviously you can spend more. If you're kind of creating your own co-op, you can spend less. But 65 baskets at $25 a person, you had a lot of buying power to get a lot of great deals. And you did. The amount of produce that came home with everybody was huge. But the money's not the only side of it, because once we've bought all of this, we need hands at this point. So that is where it truly becomes a co-op. We're all coming in to help. So kind of explain the next step.
The next step, we go right across the street from the farmer's market of the church. The church is gracious enough to let us use their shed in the back. So we unload the trucks, and then we make sure we have the correct number of baskets out where you can walk around. And then we start sorting the things that won't be squashed, like the potatoes and the onions and stuff, because you don't want to put kiwi on the bottom of your basket, or your tomatoes or peaches. So we put people on there, and then there's some things that need to be sorted that you bought in bulk, like mushrooms. Mushrooms are super cheap when you buy them loose and not already packaged. So you need those hands over there to
put those in individual bags.
Because that takes a little time. Get a bunch of people started on that too. And for 65 baskets, it took us 30 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the hardest part would be that you wanted me to be there at like 8 a.m.
Yeah. And the shoppers start at 5:30. So
So it's not really, we shouldn't complain. The 8 a.m. time frame is fine.
Right.
But it is, as you mentioned, important that we do this early, because had we started at 9 a.m., we just missed all the local farmers. One big thing is that you don't deliver any baskets. And I think this is huge, because if you want to create your own co-op, you do not want to pull all your hair out driving all over town.
And I learned that the hard way. The first time I ran the co-op, I tried to do it during the week, and I tried to mimic my friend's co-op in the upstate, and she had a bunch of stay-at-home moms in her co-op, so it worked for her on a Monday. I did not. I had a lot of people who worked during the week, so I did a lot of that, and it was an all day. It was from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. of people coming in and out. So I learned the hard way of how to run it, because if my co-op is a lot of people who work first shift during the week, then I need to move it to a time where they're available, and Saturday mornings seem to fit our co-op better.
And if you can't get your box stays at the church, and you come get it, but no one's bringing it to you.
No.
And so if you're looking at creating your own, you need to set some ground rules from the start. I mean, with anything that you create, that's the case. And make sure that this is working for all parties. But I think a big key takeaway for everyone is that anybody can do this. This isn't we need some degree in agriculture to be a shopper. You don't need to be a farmer to be able to shop directly from the wholesalers. Anyone can walk in. It's really all about timing, and it's all about just kind of getting in there, doing your homework, and finding the deals. In closing, if you are really thinking about doing this yourself, which I hope you are, because this is really easy, you see how much we got for this $20. It's a ton of produce. In the grocery store, my guess would be probably around $50 to $60, and we spent $20 to get it all. Realize that you just need to get out there and you need to do it. There's no excuses here. There's also some resources you can use. I encourage you to go to localharvest.org, put in your zip code, and you'll see if there are any co-ops already in your area. And another one would be to go to so.svrs.me/market right here. Just click on it. And that will give you a report. The report is a USDA report of everything that's on sale today at the Columbia Farmers Market. Now, I know you're thinking, what in the world? Columbia is a federal farmers market. There are 19 of them in the country. So it gives you an idea. What's at the farmers market today, and what are the prices? Remember, she was saying wholesale prices are pretty set in stone. Well, that's what they're tracking. Do your homework. Pull up yesterday's report before you go to the market so that you have some idea of what the prices are and whether or not you're getting a great deal. I hope that this really energizes you, though, on figuring out that there are ways to save on produce.